Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to this, welcome to the podcast. This episode's brought to you by Clean Cause. Do you need a healthier option for a quick boost? Grab a Clean Cause organic yerba mate. Get your day going with 160 milligrams of better caffeine. It won't cause crashes or the jitters, sometimes like coffee, maybe other energy drinks might do. You can choose from 8 flavors of sparkling yerba mate, or you can try out the newly launched clean, non-carbonated yerba mate as well. Here's the best part. This is why we partner with these guys, not just because Clean Cause has some great beverages, but also every sip makes a difference in the fight against addiction. Clean Cause donates 50%. Yes, I said that, and you heard that right. 50% of net profits to support individuals in recovery from drug and alcohol addiction. Grab a boost, live better, transform lives. Head on over to cleancause.com and get 20% off your order with promo code SOBERGUY. That's cleancause.com. Enter the promo code SOBERGUY at checkout and save 20%.
That Sober Guy podcast contains adult content, merciless truth, and emotional nudity. Listener discretion is advised.
I'm Shane Ramey. You're listening to That Sober Guy podcast, and we help people stay sober. If it's your first time listening, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here today.
So it's time to go home.
You can find more podcasts, more resources. You can also contact us by going to thatsoberguy.com.
No goodbyes, just sneak to the road.
Follow us on Instagram at That Sober Guy Podcast. All the links from today's show will be in the show notes. I'm recording this really early in the morning, so I'm trying to get rolling. Some Humans music. If you love the intro, check out Humans music. Shout out to my boy Robbie, all the way from Canada. Love these guys. How to win at everything by setting goals. Love that title. And that title, or this episode, actually comes from... Did my voice just crack there? Actually, it was close. It was borderline. It might have. I need to clear my throat here. Hold on a second. Let's mute this. Yeah, there we go. This comes from day 28 of the Quit Drinking Dude 30-day challenge. And I'm excited to share it with you because goals have been huge in my own path. And I still continue to learn and sometimes take a step back, maybe a couple steps back before I take a step forward, maybe 2 steps forward. Oh my gosh, I almost just started singing Paula Abdul. 2 steps forward and 2 steps back. We come together with opposites attracting, you know. Oh man, you know you're a 90s or an 80s kid if you know that one. So 2 steps forward, 2 steps back. Who knows? The point is, we're not perfect, right? That was the point I was trying to make, I think. But what is important? It's important that we keep going, that we have goals set along the way. And we're going to talk about that today, and we're going to talk a little bit about how they do that, or how we can do that. I'm going to give you an example of how I've been able to put together just a solid 5 months of 4 workouts a week, if not 5 or 6. And I always got to a point, I always could put together a couple of months and then I'd fall off. I've never been able to continue, and I'm seeing just great results from that. And that's not just physically, that's mentally, emotionally, spiritually, stress relief. And so I'll give that example, tell you how I've been able to do that. Excuse me. And then we'll talk about some goal setting from day 28 of the Quit Drinking Dude 30-day challenge. Now, before we do that, most importantly, I want to give a few shout outs to some dudes from our locals group, just some friends that are doing just some amazing stuff in living alcohol free. And a couple of them recently they're either actively taking or recently taking the Quit Drinking Dude 30-day challenge. And they're finding some peace. They're finding some motivation. They're finding some change in living this life free from alcohol. And what is that about? How do we do it? And so first, I want to give a congrats to Dan Big Dan has 102 days today. 102 days. And he's also doing the Quit Drinking Dude 30-day challenge. And he's doing the daily check-ins in our Sober Guy men's group. And so way to go, Dan. Just keep it up, bro. Accountability is key. The check-ins are huge. And just being a part of the group and having some support there is huge as well. Jason from Washington, part of Locals, man, always showing up to the meetings, always there. Just little love to Jay out there in Washington. Always appreciate seeing him in our meetings in the group. And also Matt from Vacaville. What's up, Big Matt? Let's give those guys, both of them, just another round of applause there. Just feeling happy using the little soundboard today. Oh man, so yeah, Matt, hope you're doing well, man, and keep going. I don't know what day Matt's on. It's got to be 90 days plus at this point, I think. And who else? Also Todd. Todd, man, dude, I got one of the best emails from Todd just in him saying he completed the 30-day Quit Drinking Dude challenge. But not only that, just gave me some amazing feedback on how it helped him and what it did. And I wanted to read a little bit of that. Todd said, I just wanted to let you know that I've done 30 days sober thanks to your Quit Drinking Dude challenge. Thank you for putting this material out there. Here's some feedback, and this is just a little bit of it, but said I came across it almost a year ago. I'm not going to lie. Most of the time it was late at night and I had been drinking or I was depressed the next day, hungover, etc. I was going to work. Taking the 30-day challenge made it more seriously because I had some cash invested. And he said the best cash I spent, and I blew more than that drinking in one night any times and many times. And then he said, I like the start of the program and writing down, my top 5 goals. And, so that's kind of what sparked this today, how to win at everything by setting goals. And, he said he did this daily and it was a huge part of it for him. So Todd, number 1, congrats on 30 days. Huge, man. Keep going. And thank you for the amazing feedback. There was a lot more there. I think I posted this on Instagram too. So I've had quite a few of these that we're going to talk about today posted on Instagram. So you can go there at that Sober Guy podcast. Check those out. All the good stuff is on there. Also Tim said, 1 month ago, in an act of desperation, I Googled sober podcasts and was attracted to yours because it felt like it was going to be welcoming to men. There's a lot of sober media out there and a lot of it is female led. So he really drew to the fact that this is for dudes in particular. If it weren't for you mentioning at the end of the pod that you had a 30-day challenge, I might have not found the courage to kickstart this journey. So thank you for being there for me when I needed you. And he recently completed the 30-day challenge. So congratulations, Tim. Tim comes from all the way from the UK. It's just crazy how podcasts and the digital space allows us to connect all around the world. It's insane. I'll go look at some of the downloads occasionally from and where they're coming from and just different countries all over the world. And that means people are trying to find resources to quit drinking because they're over it and they see what it does. And there's really I always say this, said it before, I'll say it again. I've never met anyone who said, my habitual drinking habits have really improved my life. Till this day, never met anyone who said that. And, gosh, it's been nothing better, I think, for myself, for my family, for my future, than cutting that crap out. So if you're thinking about it, man, you're on the fence about it, give it a shot. Give it 30 days. See if you can do it. Also want to give a huge shout out to Douglas from Houston, Texas, with 6 months sober. Dang, bro. Not only has Douglas stepped up as a father, he's made some necessary changes for himself and for his 2 daughters. Check this out. He also started skating again. Yes, I posted a quick video of Doug. He sent me on IG, that's Instagram, if you're not on the IG. I'm so dad. I'm such a dad these days. Everything I say, I think about, did my daughter just hear that? Because she's going to make fun of me. she's 13, so everything is done. So I'm like, yeah, I'm over on the IG. Oh, okay. Anyways, as you get older, you just realize that you're less cool than you once thought you were. So that's all I'm getting at here. But anyways, Doug sent me a video of him skating out in Houston at the skate park there. And it was awesome, man, to see. And, I've talked a lot about that in my own personal experience. And then how I've seen other dudes like pick things up from back in the day that used to be fun. Like, what did you do when you were a kid? How do you spark that interest? How do we replace our drinking habits with stuff that we once loved to do? Now we just think the only thing, we can't do anything without drinking. Well, that's not true. If we go back, it's as simple as skateboarding or riding a bike. Like, get a bike, get a skateboard, go do that you haven't done in years that you used to love to do as when you were younger before you started drinking, and find that genuine childlike joy. It's very possible. So Doug sent the video. He also sent a great picture of him and his daughters. And so I posted that on our Instagram page. And I would love it if you went over there, gave Doug a follow, dropped him a comment, showed him some love on there. So thank you, man, for sending that over. It's awesome to see, and keep it up. Keep skating, man. So cool. Also another shout of love and support to my boy Chops out in Georgia. And as of today, as this goes live, I believe Chops has 40 days alcohol free, baby. 40 days. So I gave Chops some love on the old IG, the old Instagram, at that Sober Guy podcast, celebrating those 40 days for him, man. I know there's been some ups and downs in all of our stories and all of our experiences, but the important thing is that we jump back on and we continue to try. We continue to go, to move ahead, and we don't quit. Yeah, we quit drinking, but we don't quit if we, have some setbacks along the way. We're going to have setbacks in anything that we do. So if you want to check out any of those posts, from the feedback from Todd, from Tim, if you want to see Douglas on there skating in Houston, a little love to Chops out in Georgia, go on there, man. I love it if you did that. Gave those guys a follow, drop them some comments. And then last but not least, Darren the Barber out in Boston, celebrating 5 months sober just recently. So I told Darren, man, if I'm ever out in Boston, I know what barber I'm going to see to get faded up at. And so big congrats to him. I met Darren on our Monday meeting, our Sober Guy men's meeting. That's every Monday at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Zoom. And if you follow us on Instagram or you join the men's group, Sober Guy men's group on Locals, I post all those details in there. But it's every Monday. And man, it's just, there's no really agenda at this time. Man, it's just dudes getting on there and chatting and connecting and trying to hold each other accountable, share some stories, ask some questions. And Darren had hopped on a while back, and just a cool cat out in Boston. So appreciate him. And I want to encourage you guys too, if you've never been in a meeting, man, check it out on Mondays. It's not scary. Everyone's cool. Big Joe's on there. Jason, who I mentioned earlier, is always on there. And we're a small little group right now, but I assume we just started these back up again recently. So I assume as we continue on, it will continue to grow. And I just encourage, especially you guys in Locals, man, who are taking the 30-day challenge, or you're thinking about just wanting to quit. And even if you're not doing the 30-day challenge, like you're trying to do it a different path or whatever you're doing, or maybe you're still drinking and you're just like, dude, I don't know what to do. Maybe I should jump in one of these meetings and check it out. It's a great spot. It's safe. It's cool. And you'll feel some support and some connection there. And I know that's been a huge part for me in just this whole new life that started for me almost 10 years ago. In September, it'll be 10 years. And support, connection, finding purpose, valuing myself and my family, and finding things to live for that are purposeful, and having fun, of course, at the same time too. Man, so much good stuff to live for. So, man, let's just one more time. Thank you again, everybody. Appreciate you guys I appreciate all the feedback, and I absolutely love hearing success and what you guys are doing and how it's working. And man, just awesome stuff. So today, excuse me, let me grab a sip of coffee here. I'm going to try to get away from the mic. So actually, you want to hear a coffee sip? Let's do it. I used to do these back in the day. Let's go. It's like ASMR, the coffee sip. Some of you hated that. Some of you absolutely loved it. I don't know. It's not my favorite, but it did taste good. That's so weird, huh? ASMR. I remember Lucy, she would pull up these videos and it was like people eating McDonald's chicken nuggets. I'm going to dip the nugget in the sauce right now and it's going to be good. Oh, I'm going to make myself puke right now. I apologize. Apologize for that if you just got completely grossed out like I did. Puke mechanism. Okay, let's talk about setting goals. Oh, good Lord. Today, I wanted to talk about goals and why goal setting is so important moving ahead. It is, though. We got to have a plan. You got to have a plan. And for dudes like Todd, like Tim, for others who've put together 30 days alcohol-free, many of you had a plan. You had resources. You had accountability. You had meetings. You had a mentor. Maybe you're doing a program. You're in a treatment program. Maybe you're doing it on your own. And when I say on your own, you got your own path. You got your own way that you're doing it, and it's working for you. I don't know. Who knows? Everyone's path is a little bit different, I think, and there's a lot of different paths we can take. But whatever it is, whatever path you took, whether it's a 30-day challenge, whether it's a 12-step, whether it's a support group, a men's group, whether it's just podcast, you've just been listening to the podcast and that's been doing it for you for right now. You've had something to keep you on track. You've had something to keep you going. And this, I should say, is an important aspect to success and goal setting along the way. So having those things in place to help support you on whatever path you're going down. Goal setting helps to think about kind of the journey that lies ahead instead of only focusing on the end result. And that's huge. So let me say that again. Goal setting helps you to think about the journey that lies ahead, the path to get there, instead of only focusing on the end result. Because a lot of the times, if we only focus on the end result and we don't enjoy the ride there, we get to the end and we go, oh, well, what's next? That's over. And we feel unfulfilled. It's actually the path and the journey on the way that's actually the best part. And sometimes, man, it's hard. Sometimes it sucks. Sometimes we go through things and we go, God, like, why is this happening? Why? I don't understand. But if we're only focusing on the end, none of that, we don't even enjoy that. We don't even feel it. Or maybe we don't enjoy it because it's hard. Maybe it sucks. But the point is that we need to sit in that. And that's what helps us to appreciate and really be in the moment when we do get some of the results. So in order to accomplish this, whatever goal it is that we have set, whether it's 30 days quit drinking, whether it's, you want to put some days together and get in shape, get fit. Maybe you want to be better at meditating and prayer and have a daily practice that you're doing. We have to enjoy the path there. And so let me give you an example of this. I'm getting kind of stuck, and so let me just jump into this. So I set a goal to work out 4 days a week minimum. And my larger goal was actually 5 to 6 days a week I wanted to get to, but 4 was like the absolute minimum. And I had a couple programs that I had found that different ones, like a 6-week program, an 8-week program that worked for me in what I was looking to do. It was cardio. I wanted to lift, and I also wanted to have fun. I wanted to change it up, some boxing, CrossFit style workouts, squat rack, deadlifts, and then isolating some different parts of my body to help get them in better shape, right? So I had to kind of think about that stuff before I set that goal too. Like, what was I trying to achieve? What am I trying to achieve here? So I wanted to achieve growth in my physical sense. That was obvious, right? I mean, who does, especially like as I'm getting older. I'm 42. I just turned 42, as a matter of fact, a couple of days ago. And even I think my wife jokes and says, "You're having a midlife crisis," and maybe I am. Maybe it is partly a midlife crisis. I don't know, but I don't really care. What I do know is the fact that I'm not getting any younger. I'm getting older, and I wasted a lot of time in my 20s not taking care of my body, my mental, my spiritual, my emotional. And so, yeah, there probably is a sense of urgency to make up some of that lost time. And part of the way that I feel like I want to do that is as I continue to age, I want to age well. I don't want to go backwards. And as I age and my body starts to change and over the next 20 years, slowly starts to break down, and let's face it, we all get old and we all die at some day. I want to live the rest of my life the best way possible. It doesn't mean I'm perfect, not at all, but it means that I have goals set that I want to get to. And so, and that goes, way beyond this, but here's the example today. So I was trying to achieve, yes, the physical, but I was also trying to achieve and continue to try and achieve mental toughness, spiritual toughness, emotional, I guess, toughness. Is that a right word for emotional? I think it's more emotional understanding, emotional, like being even keeled emotionally, being able to sit in my emotions, being able to feel stuff. And there's a lot of stuff I got to work on. There's a lot of stuff, but hey, I have to start somewhere, and I have to continue to be persistent with it, and I have to continue to show up every day. So for the workout goal, the 4 days minimum, the 5 to 6 days on the big goal, I also wanted to do this as a release from stress and a release from the day-to-day grind. And how am I dealing with, life's just general issues, the day-to-day, being a father, being a husband, the work that I do, just the day-to-day, how do I develop and grow my mental toughness in addition to being strong as just a man and as a dude physically? How do I grow that spiritual connection to God too? How do I push myself where I feel like, man, I can't do anymore, but I need to keep going? All those things play into this. It's not just about trying to get buff, although that's one part of it. There's a few different components. So here's a couple of questions you can ask yourself. And I'm going to tell you how I've kind of been able to do this and make these changes. Because what I didn't say is that, or maybe I did say this, but I'll say it again. In the past years, I would go through different time frames where I would put together a couple months. I would do strong lifts. It's a 5x5 app. Great app, by the way. Only in the squat rack. I highly recommend it. No attachments to the show or anything, just something I use. But that's a great place to start because it's a full body workout in the squat rack. It's 3 exercises and it works great. And you slowly put the weight up. But I would do that, and I would do other things too. And I was always able to put together a few months, but like I would always fall off, and I never had clear-cut goals, I think, and there wasn't as much consistency in that. And I don't know why. I don't when I think back about it, I did have some goals set, and like I knew what I wanted, but there was one thing I didn't do, and I'm going to tell you what that is in just a second. And this has been the biggest thing for me, but I just want to say first, like a couple questions you can ask yourself to start with. Do I really want this? So let's say you're debating 30 days without alcohol. You just want to see what that's like. Like, man, I just want to do 30 days. I just want to see if I feel better. Do I sleep better? Am I more motivated? Do I have more energy? Am I a better father, a better husband? What does that look like? Do I really want this? Okay, yeah, man, I do really want this. All right, so I write it down. Man, I really want to stay sober for 30 days. I really want to work out 4 days a week, minimum. Shooting for 5 or 6. Yes, I want this really big. Write that crap out. And then the other question you can ask yourself is it important enough to put the work in? Is it important enough to put the work in? And I don't know, is your health important enough to put the work in? Is your mental, spiritual, physical, emotional growth important enough to put the work in? You know, for me in this situation, heck yeah, it's totally worth it. It's huge. And so, you know, write that out. Yeah, absolutely it is. And then the why. Why is it important? Well, man, I want to grow. I want to grow mentally, spiritually, physically, all of it. I want to be a better father, a better husband. I want to be better at my job, my work that I do. I want to grow my company. I want to start a company. I want to, you know, man, I want to just have fun. Maybe I just want to have fun. I want to try skateboarding like Douglas. Back to it, you know. I want to, yeah, is it important enough to go skate every day? Yeah, it is, because it makes me feel like a kid again. It makes me feel free. And it provides me something that I don't get when I'm drinking. Or, you know what I'm saying? So those are two questions. Do I really want this? And is it important enough to put the work in? And I just want to say again, like what I'm going over right now, all of this is part of, or this day is part of this 30-day quit drinking dude challenge. And I'm only saying that, not so much, I mean, I guess it plugs it in a sense, but like, these are the types of things that we're going over right now that this is a goal set. This is a day right here. This is accountability. These are the things that we need to think about and do and put the work in order to have success no matter what we're doing. Because if you're not willing to put the work in, it's going to be very tough to succeed. So whether it's the challenge or whether it's doing step work or whether it's showing up at your men's group every week or it's showing up to be of service somewhere every week, like you have to put the work in to succeed. Whether it's showing up to the gym every day, you have to put the work in. Otherwise it's going to be tough. So keeping it simple, focusing on the goal, not getting overwhelmed with the results, and asking yourself this too: what matters most? What matters most? Okay, now, so like I mentioned, I put together 4 days a week minimum, sometimes 5 or 6 days. How did I do this? It's so simple, and you're probably going to laugh at this, right? Number one, I did it by setting goals, which we're talking about today. I had some goals set: physical, mental, spiritual. Already talked about that. Very important to me. Also, the motivating factor. What's your motivating factor? This is huge too. Mine, for me in this, is that I'm 42. I'm not getting any younger. I wasted a lot of time, and I'm trying to get some of that time back. And I'm trying to take care of my body now the best way possible. The body's the temple. I want to make it the strongest temple possible. You know, am I perfect at it? No. I still eat ice cream and I eat crap sometimes. That's a whole different side of this. You know, but the physical part, that's where I'm at right now. And I'm working into the nutrition part of it as well. So how did I do this? Just said, set goals. I did it with a simple, check this out, a calendar. I went to the store. This was back in March. And I said, how am I going to do this? I need some accountability here. Every time I do it, I fall off. And I said, let me just try this. This might be real simple. So I went to the store. I picked up a calendar. It's like $10. I came back. This was at the beginning of March. And I hung it right next to my bathroom, or in my bathroom, really right next to where I brush my teeth, and put my deodorant on and put my good smelling cologne on. Get all ready for the day, wash my face, do all the manly stuff, right? I put the calendar right there. And here's what I did. I looked at March and I said, okay. And I think at that time I was starting with this 6-week workout, and I broke it up. So I broke it up into chunks too. I didn't say I want to do this for 5 months at the very beginning. I just did 30 days. So I should have said that earlier. I want to point that out. Don't overwhelm yourself. I did a podcast yesterday for the corporate podcast with a EAP counselor. It's an employee assistance counselor that they operate in a lot of the time in large companies, and it's a resource that people can use and call and whatever. And so we did this podcast. It's called Ask EAP, and there was a question that someone had submitted about feeling overwhelmed. and how do I feel less overwhelmed, this and that. And one of the things the EAP counselor said, she said, you got to break it down into small chunks. So if we're just looking at the end result, I want to, get fit in 6 months, or I want to stay sober for 6 months. That's fine. That's okay to have a large goal. I think I've heard it called a big, hairy, audacious goal, your BHAG or something like that. So whatever that is, that's fine. Maybe put that to the side, but don't focus on that. We need to break that down into smaller increments in order to get there. And so for me, I just started with 1 month. I started with March. And I think my workout days at this time were Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then a Saturday. And then those were like my set days that I needed to do something. And Saturdays could be light, they could be heavy. It just depended on how my week went, but I needed to do something to meet those 4 days. And so what I did is I wrote on the calendar on Monday, I put workout. On Wednesday, I put workout. On Friday, I put workout. On Saturday, I put workout. Okay. And I mapped it out for the whole month. I had my little Sharpie there and I started. And when I hit that first Monday, I came home and I took the Sharpie and I put an X through it. And then Wednesday, I hit my workout. I looked at the calendar that morning. The other cool thing about the calendar I got is it had a Bible verse on there every day. And so not only was I growing my physical at the gym, right? Physically trying to get those physical workouts. I was also, just by doing all this stuff together, I was growing spiritual, quick little Bible verses. I'm Xing that off, thinking about it, meditating on it, praying on it, even just for a minute. So I'm doing all this together, and Friday comes, X, I cross it off. So you get the point here. I did that for March. I did it for April. I did it for May. I did it for June. And now I'm in July and I'm doing the same. And it's worked. There's accountability there. There's goals set. I'm hitting 4, 5, sometimes 6 days of something. And when I say workouts, I'm not like, if we do a 6 day workout, it doesn't mean that every single day is like super grinding hard. I definitely grind, at least 3 to 4 days. But like if it's 5 or 6, maybe one of those days is just a nice walk at the end of the day. And I do a lot of walking in the evening time. That's a big part of that too. It's something I'd highly recommend. But I set goals with the calendar, 30 days or just this week, start with the week. You can do that too. And you can try that strategy if you want. I just shared that with my buddy Ray recently. So he said, man, well, how do you keep that consistent? I said, man, I bought a calendar. Here's what I did. It's worked for me. And you can kind of take that mentality and use it. So maybe you want to do that with 30 days, and you want to try to do it on your own, and you want to try to quit drinking for 30 days. Maybe take a calendar, get your resources together, your podcasts, your whatever it is that you're going to do, your meetings. And then write it on the calendar. Sober. Exit off every day, 1 day at a time, taking it in small increments. That works best. Need another quick drink here. That was a lighter one. A little water too. All right. This strategy also falls in line with a strategy called the SMART goal strategy. And it comes from an article that I linked in here. So I'll have that link in the show notes. Actually, let me do that right now so I just don't forget here. We're going to drop that down. Let's see. We'll X these out. There it is. Okay, cool. Got that in there. Ultimate goal setting process in 7 steps. The ultimate goal setting process in 7 steps. And they call it SMART goals. And so I put that link in there if you want to check it out. So we're going to go over that right now. So creating SMART goals. Once you've zeroed in on what you actually want, ensure your goal meets the SMART criteria. Okay. And I don't think I was perfect at this in my example earlier, but I'm definitely doing my best and it falls in line with it. And I just want to say that you don't have to be perfect. Don't be so perfect that you do nothing. It's got to be perfect. It's got to be perfect. I used to do that a lot with podcasts. And it's just, you just got to go sometimes, and you got to expect mistakes to be made sometimes. And we have to learn how to be critical of ourselves without hating ourselves and getting down on ourselves if we mess up or if we fail. It's part of life. And I deal with it on the daily, I promise. So once you've realized or you've zeroed in on the goal you want, ensure it meets the SMART criteria. Here's the SMART criteria, and it's an acronym here. S, specific. M, measurable. A, attainable. R, realistic. T, time-bound. SMART. The most important part of SMART goal setting is to make your goal specific so you can clearly track your progress and know whether you met the goal. The more specific you can be with your goal, the higher the chance you'll complete it. For example, this is the example they give in the article. Many people set goals to lose weight, right? That's a very common one. But they don't always decide how much weight they want to lose and when they want to accomplish this goal. Okay, so this is very specific. This is probably even more specific than I have been in my own calendar thing or whatever. This is and this is good. A specific goal would be, I want to lose 25 pounds by August 1st, let's say, or let's say September 1st, whatever the date is, it's irrelevant. I guess I was trying to line it up so it made sense, but whatever date it is that you're listening to this, maybe it's let's say 90 days. I want to lose 25 pounds in 90 days. Now, this goal provides an exact amount of weight to lose and an end date to do it by. Okay, it's very specific. I want 25 pounds gone. I got 90 days to do it. How am I going to do it? So we don't just say, like if we apply this to alcohol, we just don't say, oh, I want to quit drinking. I want to be alcohol free. We say, man, I want to be free from alcohol for 30 days. I want to quit drinking for 30 days. My big goal, my big, hairy, audacious goal, the BHAG, is a year. But hey, we're going to set that to the side. I'm going to start with 30 days. That's kind of a smaller, attainable goal. It's realistic, but I'm going to start today. Today's day one. So we need to be specific on what we're going to do. Okay. So the next one is write your goals down. I've mentioned that a couple times now, but when you write your goals down, they become real and tangible instead of a vague idea that resides only in your mind. So once you've written your goals down, keep them somewhere visible, put personal goals up on the mirror or next to your computer screen. You can put team goals up on the walls next to everyone's desk. If you're in an office, maybe this is a group goal is what they're alluding to, I believe. Company goals, or if you have a business, maybe you have a small business and a few employees, and hey, here's our goals. I want everyone to see these daily. For me, it was the calendar. I brush my teeth multiple times a day. And so I see that calendar there. And I also have a vision board up that Jess and I did. And I see that. And even though that's been on the back burner, I don't want to share what it is at this time because I'm still, I'm shy. Just reminded me of Stuart. You guys remember Stuart? Look what I can do. Okay, I'll stop. But writing your goals down, writing them on the calendar, writing a vision board, writing them on a notepad and putting them up where you can see them. This tactic reminds you to keep working on your goals daily. It helps you break them up into little chunks. And as you're writing your goals down, use a positive tone so that you stay excited about completing them. Man, I got this goal set. I'm getting it. And I promise you, once you get a little momentum, it gets a little easier every day. It doesn't mean you're not going to have setbacks and have rough days, but the more you go, even on those days when they're not perfect, like for me, I'll use the example of the workout. Like there's days when I don't have great workouts. And then there's days when I just absolutely crush it. And so I have to balance the two and not beat myself up. And same thing with you. Maybe you have a day where you had like a great time. It was a great day. You didn't drink and everything was great. And then you had a great day, but like, man, you were kind of down or something happened and it pissed you off, or you were feeling depressed a little bit, but you still didn't drink, but you just had a rough day. So it's still a win. It's still a win. I went to the gym. I didn't have a hardcore grinder workout. I didn't feel as great afterwards. It's kind of like, you kind of half-assed it today. Maybe I have some tendonitis and stuff in my elbow. Some days it just kicks my butt and it doesn't feel great. And so I don't feel like I went as hard, and that's fine. But at least I showed up. At least I went. You didn't drink today. At least you didn't drink, even though it was a rough day, So what was that? That was number 3. I had 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Write your goals down. Yeah. Sorry. I lost my place there for a second. The next one, create an action plan. And you can use, so I referenced this here, and you'll hear this if you do end up wanting to check out the 30-day challenge. We have a 90-day sober journal in there. It's in day 10. And you can use that 90-day sober journal almost like your calendar. You can use it as an action plan, and you can break it up into daily increments, weekly increments, monthly, 30 days. But you have something in there, and that's a checklist stuff. And I don't have it right in front of me right now, so I don't want to try to explain it because I'll mess it up. But you can check it out on the course site or whatever. But many people decide on a goal, but never create an action plan to determine how exactly they will meet their goal. Your action plan should include the overall goal you're trying to meet and all the steps you need to take to get there. So let me read that one more time. And then we're going to kind of cruise through this because I need to wrap it up here. This has been a little bit longer than I expected today. So create an action plan. I don't want it to drag for you. I want to get you the points that you need and then be done so you can move on with your day 2. Create an action plan. Many people decide on a goal but never create an action plan to determine how exactly they'll meet that goal. Your action plan should include the overall goal you're trying to meet, okay, and all the steps you need to take to get there. So once again, this kind of falls back up to number 3 here, writing your goals down. You need to put them on paper. You need to write them down. Or if you want to write them in your phone or however you want to do it. But they need to be visible. And there's something about putting pen to paper that makes things tangible, like I mentioned earlier. And it's a very important part of this. The calendar even. That's really simple. It's not like I have to sit and write a book. And I got to a point where I even got lazy of writing workout. So I just started writing W. I think I'm going to go back to writing workout though. It seems a little more real when I see workout versus W. I see W, I think of West Side or West Side Connection. So Wilsey Wood. I don't know. But workout, okay, that's very specific workout. So I'm actually going to do that for this next month. Okay, the next one, create a timeline and do it one day at a time. So I talked about this a minute ago or a few minutes ago with the 90 days, right? I want to give myself 90 days to lose 25 pounds. So you're creating that timeline. As part of your action plan, visualize your goal, your tasks, celebrate your small wins along the way. That's so important too. Celebrate those wins. That's why today I started the podcast off with celebrating like all the, dudes out there who are just putting in work. We want to celebrate that. And you should be celebrating your small wins and small achievements along the way, no matter what it is that you're doing. So celebrate your wins along the way, track your days to achieve your goal. One of the resources that we use, and there used to be a sponsor of the show back in the day, is the I Am Sober app. It's a great way to track your progress. And so definitely still recommend that app. I know a lot of people who use it still. It's a great app and it'll help you track and give you some accountability along the way. So you can download that if you're trying to get some time together without drinking. Once you've set your daily goals and a date for your goal to be accomplished, stick to them as closely as possible. A timeline creates a sense of urgency and it makes it realistic, which motivates you to stay on schedule and finish your goal. So that timeline is so important. And lining out those goals, putting them on paper, creating a plan. All right, now we're to the next one. Take action. We're almost done. We got 2 more. Well, this one and 1 more. So take action. So you have everything planned out. You know what you're going to do. We can only plan for so long. And don't plan so long that it doesn't have to be perfect. Don't plan so long that you don't do anything. it's time to take action. We got to take action now. You didn't go through all that work just to forget about your goal and then stop right there. Oh, I lined everything out. Okay, now I'm good. I'm done. I'm not doing it. Don't do that. Now it's time to take action. We got to go. And remember, small increments, one day at a time. It's the old cliche. It works great. Every step that you take should lead to another step until you finish your goal, a little bit at a time. Patient. Man, and I'm not speaking at you. I'm speaking with you right now when I say patience, because I have a problem with that too. I want to see immediate results. It doesn't happen like that. You don't get immediate results going to the gym for a week or even a month, really. You might see a little bit after a month. You might feel better. You're definitely going to start to feel better for sure. But, it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time, and be patient with it. Sit in it, but take action a little bit each day. All right, last one, assess your progress along the way and celebrate your wins. Like I said, that's why we started off today, celebrating those wins. You need to keep your motivation strong to complete your goal. Consider scheduling a weekly evaluation, which could include measuring your progress and checking your schedule. We talked about how to do this in the weekly inventory checklist, which is another day inside of the 30-day challenge. So once again, we have all this stuff listed out in 30 podcasts in 30 days, and it will help you do that along the way. But even so, if maybe it's a different goal, this works for anything that you're setting a goal for. Those weekly follow-ups, those weekly check-ins, you can do them daily even if you want. You can do a daily inventory checklist. You can do a daily at the end of the day. I personally like at the end of the week, like to check it. Okay, cool. I did this week. That day was good. Day was a little rough, but you got to reflect on it. And then once you see how close the finish line is, you're going to feel more motivated to push through to the end too. I'll tell you what, you get about halfway. Let's say you're on day 15, and sometimes at the halfway point, stuff gets tough. But you start hitting, and you keep going though. You push through, you start hitting 16, 17, 18 days, 19 days, 20 days. Oh man, now you're about to start steamrolling forward because you're like, damn, I'm almost there. I'm getting there. And sometimes it happens. You get a little behind schedule, or maybe you didn't have the perfect thing. You make the adjustments. You stay patient, but you keep moving ahead. So setting goals. We have to have goals. How to win at everything by setting goals. And setting goals will set you up for a way better chance of success. And, hey, we got to do our best too. We got to expect some setbacks, but we got to keep moving forward. And man, I hope something spoke to you today. I hope this helped. That's my intention with everything, of course, and not to just help you in being of service, but man, that helps me too. So I appreciate you guys. I appreciate you listening. If there's anything I can help with, you can reach out. You can find all of our resources, including the Quit Drinking Dude 30-Day Challenge at thatsoberguy.com. Please share the podcast with a friend. I would love it if you did that. Connect with us on Instagram at thatsoberguypodcast. Peace, love, and respect. Have a great weekend. Keep your blood clean.